It's an ordinary evening. The sky, clear above a small American town, lights up with stars. Then suddenly a flash. A glowing sphere crosses the horizon, stops, pulses, and disappears. It's not a plane, it's not a meteor, it doesn't seem to belong to any known type of object. But what is it? In recent years in the United States and beyond, there have been thousands of similar reports. Sometimes they're accompanied by grainy footage and official reports. The Pentagon calls them UAPs. Unidentified aerial phenomena remain mysterious. Some believe they're alien spaceships, others think they're secret military tech. But what if they were something even more enigmatic, something that could change our very understanding of life and reality? Today we'll explore plasmoids, plasma entities that challenge our understanding of life, history, and reality itself. This isn't fantasy, but a phenomenon studied by scientists, observed by pilots, and perhaps present among us for millennia. In this journey, we'll explore their traces in modern skies, in ancient chronicles, and even in the most inexplicable moments of human spirituality. Prepare for an investigation that raises complex questions. What are plasmoids? Are they alive? Before we begin this fascinating journey, as we always do, we invite you to subscribe to the channel to support our work and to not miss our upcoming videos. Let's start with what we know. Plasmoids are structures of plasma, the fourth state of matter, an ionized gas of charged particles that we find in lightning, in the sun, or in the northern lights. But plasmoids are not just simple electrical discharges. They appear as spheres, cylinders, or luminous filaments, often self-illuminating, capable of moving in ways that defy conventional physics. A study in the October 2024 Journal of Modern Physics by Ron Gabriel Joseph and Olivier Planchon describes them as organized plasma entities with complex behaviors. They divide, merge, and accelerate without any apparent propulsion. But this isn't a new idea. In the 1950s, physicist Winston H. Bostick coined the term plasmoid for formations seen in magnetic field lab experiments. The real breakthrough comes from space. National Aeronautics and Space Administration has documented plasmoids near its shuttles, such as during the Space Transportation System 75 mission, when the tether satellite was surrounded by hundreds of pulsating luminous objects. Skeptics mentioned debris or reflections, but the footage displays nearly coordinated, intentional movements. In 2023, a team from Stanford University analyzed similar atmospheric phenomena. They suggested plasmoids may naturally form in strong electromagnetic fields, like during geomagnetic storms or above active volcanoes. Yet there is one detail that is unsettling. Some seem to react to external stimuli. During a 2022 experiment conducted by the Princeton Plasma Physics Laboratory, an artificial plasmoid shifted when exposed to an electric pulse, as if it sensed its presence. And here comes the crucial question. Are these just physical phenomena or something more? Plasmoids could be a form of life not based on carbon and water, but on organized energy. This isn't science fiction. In the 2000s, Russian physicist Vladimir Zidovich demonstrated that dusty plasma, a variant of plasmoids, can form helical structures similar to DNA. Is replicating and transmitting information enough to define them as alive? Science doesn't have a definitive answer yet, but the data pushes us to look further. In the United States, plasmoids are linked to the surge in unidentified anomalous phenomena sightings. In June 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released a preliminary report on 144 cases from 2004 to 2021. These include the FLIR, gimbal, and GoFast videos recorded by Navy pilots. They display objects traveling at up to 13,000 km/h without wings, engines, or heat trails. Ex-pilot Ryan Graves, a direct witness, testified before Congress in 2023.
These weren't isolated events. We saw them almost every day, off the East Coast.
In 2024, the phenomenon grew stronger. Residents of Ohio and Nevada reported mysterious drones over military bases and nuclear plants, often described as glowing spheres moving in formation. The Pentagon has no explanation. The Federal Aviation Administration rules out the possibility of conventional aircraft, and the theory of secret Chinese or Russian technology doesn't hold up. No known drone can dive into the ocean or make 90-degree turns without breaking apart. Project Condign, a secret report from the British Ministry of Defense declassified in 2006, had already linked many UAPs to atmospheric plasmas generated by rare weather conditions. But recent cases go beyond the observed plasmoids. They don't just float, they approach aircraft, follow them, and suddenly disappear. A 2023 video recorded by a Coast Guard helicopter near Puerto Rico shows a luminous sphere splitting into two. It then dives into the sea, leaving no trace. Scientists are following this lead seriously in 2024. Atmospheric physicist Joseph Dwyer has suggested that plasmoids might be more common than we think, powered by ball lightning or solar eruptions. But there's an issue. Ball lightning only lasts seconds, while many UAPs remain for minutes or hours. Plus, their behavior is unusual. A civilian pilot, interviewed by the War Zone in 2023, described a sphere that followed him at a fixed distance, changing color from white to red. Are we discussing a natural phenomenon or a deliberate interaction? The answer could lie not just in today's skies, but also in those of the past. If plasmoids are real, they're not a modern invention. History is full of accounts that today we might attribute to these entities. In 1200 before Christ, the Thule Papyrus, a debated Egyptian document cited by scholars like Alberto Thule, describes circles of fire during Thutmose III's reign. The text describes lights moving in the sky, multiplying before vanishing southward. Archaeologists call it a solar phenomenon, but the description, they rose and moved like serpents, suggests modern plasmoids. Similar traces appear in the classical world. In 74 before Christ, Plutarch describes an event during a Phrygian battle in the life of Lucullus.
Suddenly the sky opened and a bright flame shaped like a vessel descended between the two armies.
Soldiers fled in terror. It might have been a meteorite, but its controlled path and shape suggest otherwise. In 776 AD, the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle reports fiery serpents over Northumbria, seen by hundreds of people before a Viking raid. And in 1290, the monks of Byland Abbey in England described a silvery disc floating above the monastery, interpreted as a divine sign. Non-Western cultures provide clues as well. In Japan, the Kitsunebi, will-o'-the-wisps, linked to spirits, are described in texts from the Heian period as luminous spheres that guided or deceived travelers. In India, the Rig Veda, around 1500 before Christ, speaks of divine lights that danced in the skies during sacrifices. And in Irish folklore, the will-o'-the-wisp, globes of light in the marshes, could be plasmoids generated by natural gases. It's a case where so many cultures, separated by continents and millennia, have seen the same phenomenon. Or have plasmoids always existed, drawn to lightning, volcanoes, and possibly even human energy? A major event in spiritual history might be connected to plasmoids. The miracle of the sun at Fatima occurred on October 13, 1917, at Cova da Iria, Portugal, where 70,000 people witnessed an extraordinary event. Countries? Portugal? With the family, they met their relatives, the family of Fatima. A larger city carried out a research project. Lights. Newspapers of the time, such as O Século, reported testimonies of a silvery disc that emitted multicolored rays, accompanied by an electric buzzing sound. For believers, it was a divine intervention, but scholars of atmospheric phenomena and ufology see something else. The Journal of Modern Physics in 2024 notes that plasmoids can generate spectacular optical effects amplified by atmospheric conditions such as humidity or the geomagnetic storms present. That day in Fatima, According to meteorological data, some witnesses spoke of a luminous sphere separate from the sun, a detail that some accounts often omit. But there is a problem. How do we explain the visions of the shepherds, like the young shepherds who predicted the day and time when the phenomena would occur? As demonstrated by experiments by neuroscientist Michael Persinger in the 1980s, plasmoids, when interacting with electromagnetic fields, can induce altered states. Magnetic impulses to the brain would be able to cause hallucinations of luminous figures or presences. The problem of how a hallucination can become an accurate prophecy of an extraordinary event, however, remains. Fatima is not the only case. In Medjugorje, Bosnia, since 1981, visionaries have reported Marian apparitions with pulsating skylights, photographed by pilgrims and analyzed by ufologists like Roberto Pinotti. In 1968 in Zaytun, Egypt, thousands of people saw luminous figures above a Coptic church, preceded by spheres of light moving in formation. Even in this case, it is possible to talk about coincidences, or perhaps plasmoids are mysteriously attracted to places of intense emotional energy, crowds in prayer in ecstasy, and they manifest in ways that we interpret as divine. It's a controversial hypothesis, but there are too many similarities to overlook. The link between plasmoids and the paranormal is equally intriguing. During 19th century seances, mediums reported orbs, glowing spheres, as evidence of otherworldly presences. Allan Kardec, founder of Spiritism, described in his writings globes of light that materialized in the presence of moving tables or speaking voices. In the 20th century, the Italian researcher Luciano Bocconi used infrared instruments and magnetometers to detect invisible plasma entities in places of alleged paranormal activity, often associated with electromagnetic fluctuations. Science tries to provide a possible explanation for all of this. In 2010, an experiment at Massachusetts Institute of Technology on cold plasma showed that charged particles can organize themselves into stable structures by reacting to external stimuli. And in 2007, Zitovich demonstrated that dusty plasma can evolve into complex systems similar to living organisms. During the sessions, emotional energy, fear, anticipation, and concentration could create the conditions for the formation of plasmoids, visible as orbs in modern photographs. But there's more. Witnesses report that these spheres seem to respond to those present by moving closer or farther away. A well-known case is Eva Carrière, a 1920s French medium, whose sessions produced ectoplasm photographed as glowing filaments. Recent analyses suggest that it could be ionized plasma, not a spiritual substance. And if plasmoids were attracted to human energy, like lightning is attracted to conductors, they could be a physical phenomenon mistaken for something supernatural, or perhaps a clue to something deeper. Let's consider a bolder idea. Plasmoids might be transformed human consciousness. Physics shows that energy is transformed, not destroyed. And so what if after death our consciousness and electromagnetic field generated by the brain evolved into a plasmoid? Rudolf Steiner, philosopher and mystic, spoke of etheric bodies that persist beyond physical life. Today's scientists like Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff explore the idea that using organic matter, or as WordPress ontologists suggests, communicating implies a rudimentary intelligence, a fourth domain of life. It is not excluded that they may come from ourselves, but they could also be the manifestation of other forms of life, far from our material world, but somehow connected to it. And what if plasmoids were something even greater? And what if they were a manifestation of the divine revealing itself to us through luminous plasma? Consider the prophet Ezekiel's vision in the Old Testament circa 593 before Christ. He described a chariot of fire coming down from the sky, surrounded by living beings and luminous wheels. An image accompanied by a roar and dazzling lights. Scholars have often interpreted Ezekiel's chariot as a metaphor or a theological symbol, but the description of fire swirling around itself and flashes of lightning coming out of it is strikingly reminiscent. Plasmoids are organized luminous entities capable of complex movements. Could plasmoids be divine messengers, manifestations of a higher intelligence that crosses time and space? The ancients would have seen them as angels or celestial signs, while today we classify them as UAPs or physical phenomena. This hypothesis connects science and spirituality. Plasma, present everywhere in the universe from the sun to the stars, could be the means through which the divine manifests itself, a bridge between the material and the immaterial. Perhaps when we observe plasmoids, we are looking not only at the mystery of life, but also at the signature of something eternal. These are all remarkable theories we'll explore in upcoming videos, but one thing is clear: the mystery is real, and science is just beginning to uncover it. We will keep investigating these fascinating enigmas. Let us know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support our work and not miss the next videos. Until the next story.